Welcome to Channel's Book Club. I am Olakunle Kasumo. The many events we witness, new books we see released, interesting Nigerian authors we meet, and reading initiatives we get to know about make us believe that there just might be a quiet literary revolution going on in Nigeria. Perhaps the reading and book culture is gradually being revived. In today's episode, you'll get to meet a young woman with passion for creating children's literature. You also get to meet a group of professionals we bumped into who are determined to keep reading and learning. Finally, we'll be exploring the last of the 3 shortlisted books for the Etisalat Prize for Literature. Please stay tuned. Her name is Constance Omawumi Kola Lawal, and her mission is to produce relevant literature for children. At the Reading Corner, Ikoyi, Lagos, Constance was happy to tell us about her works, thoughts, and ideas on books for children. Enjoy this.
It's one thing to write for adults. It's an entirely different thing to write books for children. One of the writers who does that is this young lady who said she's on a mission.
One of the reasons I focused on Nigerian children is because I think that there is a massive opportunity to teach our children culture, our Nigerian history, and also safety and environmental concepts.
Apart from being a writer of children's books, Constance is a health, safety, and environment professional with a PhD from the University of Salford, Manchester, England. And she's an advocate of culture change for today's Nigerian child. These have influenced the titles she has written for children, which include My Nigeria, a book that introduces the Nigerian child to the sights, sounds, and culture of Nigeria, Preserving the Environment for Children, Road Safety for Children, Fire Safety for Children.
Children really need to have a very strong sense of self. Before they go out into the world, they need to understand who they are as Nigerians and then go out into the world. I feel that way they will be strong citizens. They will understand exactly what it takes to make them a Nigerian, and then they can go and be confident and become citizens of the world.
So what set her on the path to writing for children?
I find that children receive information a lot better than adults. We have a very good opportunity to pass information on to children, whereby that information can change the way that they actually behave. So I've released a lot of material for adults, and I found that in the 7 books I've written, there is that important opportunity to be able to pass that same information to children. But at the same time, rather than the way it happens with adults, where the adults still have the option of continuing existing behavior, with children, it actually usually transforms their behavior and you see positive impact.
Getting the Nigerian child to develop a reading culture has become somewhat of a concern to many. What are parents and other stakeholders doing wrong in Nigeria?
I don't think that we are doing enough to educate Nigerian children or to improve the reading culture in Nigerian children. There's a saying that goes amongst us Nigerians that if you want to hide something from a child, or from a Nigerian rather, you put it in a book. And that's really just not good enough. Reading is something that expands a child's mind. The opportunity to pick up a book or to pick up material that can be read makes a child think more intellectually, makes them question topics, it changes their behavior. It just expands the way that they think, and it produces a much more introspective adult, I would say, and somebody who is able to question and reason a lot better. So yes, we should be doing a lot more in Nigeria to address the reading culture at a very young age. And when I say young age, I mean, pre-11, the primary school phase, where children start to learn how to read, how to write, and how to, we don't want children to just be able to read academically or read as much as they need to read to pass in their academics, but we want them to be able to explore. So for me, it's a fantastic opportunity to be able to create reading material for children.
Books for adults are often very much straightforward in terms of content and design, but it is not always so for children. What should adults look out for in picking books for children?
Because children are really very visually stimulated, you find that they themselves are gravitated towards pictures. So when as a parent, if I'm choosing a book for my child, I want something that will catch the child's attention, that will grab the child's attention. And that's where your color. So if you look at, for instance, the book I've written, My Nigeria, I focused a lot on graphics, on visuals, on basically transmitting the message through pictures, because the children can relate to those pictures. In a child's mind, it's as though the picture is reflected in their memory, in their consciousness, and they remember. You tend to find that a lot of books written especially by international authors have that very strong visual element. There's a lot of use of color, and there's a lot of use of visual imagery and pictures. So that is the main thing that you would look for. With very young children, you might want to look for instance, for texture. So this sort of book is for very young children. It's called That's Not My Puppy, but then it also has a portion where the child gets to have a sensory experience because they can feel the book.
One of the most recommended strategies for encouraging children to read more is getting parents to read with them. Constance believes in this.
First of all, it's very quality time spent with your children. I would say that, a lot of us parents are quite concerned about the amount of time children spend on their own, engaging with electronic devices. That reading, that relationship whereby you sit down and you get to read with your children, apart from the direct benefit of transmitting information to them, you find that you're building your relationship with your children. You're teaching them words, you're teaching them pronunciation, you're teaching them basically to talk or to speak. Children, you're also, because you find that when you read as an avid reader, the children listen. They look at you, they look at your facial expressions, they listen to what you're saying a lot better than if that information is just, is something that's being transmitted to them in other ways. So I would say reading to children is even a lot more value adding than just even having the child read on their own.